Hi there, it's Donna from Taffy Crafting. It's a bit of late night crafting for me, and I've made one heck of a mess tonight, but I have made some lovely cards. So these are cards from a previous video I made with my flip-flop joyfold card. And then this one, I don't know what type of card this is, but we've got that. And it's using the new Hand Penned Petals DSP. Or is it Hand Penned DSP? And the stamp set is called Hand Penned Petals. I'm using Daisy Lane for this sentiment, but everything else is hand penned, and the card is garden green. And I absolutely love this paper. It's so pretty. Let me show you some of the other designs. So pretty. I've already used quite a lot of this. So I've used that one for this card, and I think I'm going to use this one for this card, although it hasn't got garden green and that's what I've got left. In fact, I will go with that, I think, which has some garden green and cinnamon cider in there, which is a colour I don't use all that often. So I think I'll use that piece and I'll take a bit off that end. So if you've never come across me before and you like simple paper crafting, mainly cards and gift boxes and gift bags, if that's the type of thing you like, come and give me a subscribe, hit the bell to be notified when I bring out new videos. I try and do as many as I can. So if that's the kind of thing you like, then come and join my channel. So I'm going to use this on the back. It's not quite garden green, but I think it goes with it. I think this is probably mint macaron, but we'll go with this. Or I might use that again, which is quite nice. We'll see how we go. What I can't find is the scrap of paper that I used before it. We'll find it in a second. So the first thing you'll need is some garden green cardstock. So you can make 2 of these out of one piece of 12 by 12 or A4, depending on what you're using. Let's put that to one side. And we're going to trim this down. I haven't done any pre-trimming. We're just going with it. This is real time. And this needs to be 4 1/8 inches wide. If you are somebody watching from the US, you're probably used to using 4 1/4. Doesn't really matter. But I'm using 4 1/8. And that's going to be by 5 3/4. That's a think for a minute there. So that's the base of my card. And then I need another piece that measures 3 inches by 8 1/4. Let's just trim that down to 8 1/4. You can use any colours you like. They coordinate or contrast with your paper. 8 1/4 by 3. And what we're going to do is score that on the long side at 4 1/8. So with my bone folder, what I need to do is fold and give this a really, really good burnish, because we want this to fold, have a nice sharp fold on it. So what's going to happen is that is going to sit on there in the middle like that. So we need to find some cardstock some DSP that's going to coordinate with that, and I'm not sure that goes with that. It doesn't. So what I'm going to do is go and find some other DSP that will coordinate with that. You could just put white on there, but I want to find some DSP. So I found some DSP. This comes from the You're a Peach DSP. I think it does anyway. Now I'm not so sure. I just picked it up because I thought, oh, that will go. And I might have just given you the wrong name of that. I don't think it is You're a Peach. Oh, I think it is, you know. Yes, it is. It's from You're a Peach. But I'm not going to use that. although that would work very nicely on that card, I'm actually going to use this. I'm going to use Hand Penned for this, but I'm going to combine it with this that's on the back of You're a Peach. So the first thing I want to do is start with the inside of my card, and I want a piece of Whisper White cardstock that's going to measure 2 3/4 by 3 7/8. So I've got some white cardstock for that. So 2 3/4 by 3 7/8. And that's just going to fit inside like that, and that's where I'm going to put my sentiment. Now, for my sentiment, I am going to be using the kind of dandelion image from, I'm going to use Hand Penned Petals. So I've got the dandelion image there, and I'm going to stamp that in garden green. I'm just going to put that there, like that. Now while that's drying, and while I've also got the garden green ink out, I'm just going to quickly clean my stamp. I'm going to put my sentiment in there, which is going to be thanks. Now I absolutely love the font of this. Let's get that straight. I think that looks absolutely great. I love that. Now the DSP that we're using has got cinnamon cider. I don't know if I want to put cinnamon cider on there. No, I think what I'm going to use, even though there's none of that colour in there, I'm going to use pale papaya. So we've got the other part of our, I'm sure it's a dandelion, other part of that. Oops, get it on properly. So pale papaya, and I'm just going to stamp that on top like that. And I'm just cleaning my stamps as I go along because I'm a bit naughty for stamp cleaning. Right, let's put that to one side because we don't need that anymore. I'm just going to stick that to the inside of my card. If you watch me regularly, you know that I prefer liquid glue for this type of job because you can get it stuck down and then just manoeuvre, get it in the right spot and stick it down. And then the front is going to be my paper like that. So that needs to measure the same as our piece of card that we just did. So the width of that is 2 3/4. That's to think for a minute there. 2 3/4. And I'm going to take the end off this end here by 3 7/8. I'm just going to put that on there like that, so it's got a nice border around it. Make sure we've got everything the right way up. Now before I stick this on here, I want to put my side panels on, and these need to be 1¼ inches wide. Let's just cut 2 of those. Sorry, I'm making the camera wobble. So 2 of those, they're going to be 1¼ inches wide by 3 7/8. And I think I'll use that peachy paper for my next project. Haven't used it yet. Now before we put the main piece of the card onto the front of our base, we'll stick these on first. It makes it much easier to find the middle. Because we'll stick those on like that, get an equal border, and then that is going to sit in there, so you kind of get a border there already, so it doesn't matter that it kind of butts up to that. Okay, so let's put these on first. How cute is that paper? Looking forward to using that. Now these cards I think are great for a production line process. So if you wanted to make a whole chunk of these, you could do all the bases first, then all the main part of the card, and you do all the sentiments. So do it in bit by bit. Oh, let's move that a little bit. I don't think it's going to move. Oh, I think I've just rescued that. And then this will just sit in the middle there, so it just gives an illusion of that border. Now this bit you've got to be a bit careful with. Put some glue on the back of the flappy part of your card, not too close to the edge so it doesn't spill out, and then very carefully match up the edge. There's no border here, just matching up that edge, making sure the top is straight, and then when you're happy with that, press it down. So there's our card, like that. So the next thing I want to do is to deal with this bit. So that this is the Heart Duo pack, and I'm going to start off first with some Garden Green and the Scalloped Heart, which is slightly bigger than the plain edge. Let's punch that out. And then what I'm going to do, I need a piece of white. And before I punch it out, I'm going to take the Friend sentiment from Daisy Lane. This has been round a little while now, this stamp. And get my Garden Green back. And I'm just going to stamp here. Now you always have to stamp higher up and further in than you think. Get a really lovely crisp image with these cling stamps. So getting my plain edge, you do need to make sure that ink has dried. I probably could have done with going a little bit higher. I just about got away with that, I think. Always go higher than you think. And then what I'm going to do is then mount that onto there with dimensionals. You can bling it up with some rhinestones if you like. So just put some, I'm using mini dimensionals. I never use the big dimensionals, I don't know why. I just prefer these. But in the bigger dimensionals you can get them in black as well. Right, try and get that so you've got a nice border all the way around, which is a little bit on the tricky side. And then what we're going to do is stick that on there, and again I'm going to use dimensionals. It just lifts it a bit. Make sure you put it on the right side. Always best to stop and check. I love the collection of greens on this. Gives it a real summery feel. And there you go. So that's another 2 cards I've got now for the card swaps that we're doing. So this is using the Hand Penned DSP. I've picked out the, can't remember what it's called, There's a Peach DSP for this one because I didn't have enough of that. Garden Green cardstock and Hand Penned Petals stamp set with Daisy Lane as well. And we've used the Heart Duo Punch Pack to create those hearts. I really hope you like that. It's quite a straightforward card. Not bad for beginners. You just have to have a little bit of confidence lining up everything here when you stick it down. There we go. So that's 2 more cards for the collection. Hope you like this. Come and subscribe if this is the type of tutorial that you like. And I'll be back again soon with the next pair of cards. I'll see you then. Bye bye.